The Spanish Fork and Salem Area Chamber of Commerce is pleased to present Chamber Today. Here we discuss the who's, what's, and where's of our local business community. Welcome to Chamber Today with your host, Aaron Stern.
Coming up on Chamber Today, our guest will be Francis Gibson, the new Intermountain Healthcare Hospital CEO and Administrator, Dave Anderson, the Director of the Community and Economic Development Department in Spanish Fork City, and Justin and Eric Jacobson with Knockham Games. We'll be right back to start the conversation with Francis. Welcome to Chamber Today. I'm Aaron Stern, a local business owner and also a member of the Board of Directors for the Spanish Fork and Salem Area Chamber of Commerce. Our first guest is Francis Gibson, the CEO and Administrator for the new Intermountain Hospital that's currently under construction here in Spanish Fork. Thanks for joining us, Francis.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so everyone sees this new hospital going up. It's changing the skyline of the town. Tell me a bit about why you chose Spanish Fork.
Great. Spanish Fork growing community. South Utah County is the fastest growing area in the state. We've always seen about Eagle Mountain and Saratoga Springs, but if you look at the access, east-west freeway access to Spanish Fork, Springville, Santaquin, Payson, all of these areas are booming right now. And the population growth, I think, serves for a good time for more healthcare facilities, more healthcare options here. Mountain View Hospital has been in Payson and served the area great for a long time. Yeah. And they'll continue to do so. I just think we'll be able to meet a certain niche of the population that may not be currently being met by the Mountain View Hospital.
Yeah. How's construction coming along?
Construction's going well. It's busy. You can see it's a $170 million project. The hospital's 5 floors, and you'll see the skin going up really quickly. And we're about 50% done right now.
Great.
With regards to building. There are lots of things. Once the walls go up, people go, "Oh, well, you're almost done." Well, now comes the inside, all the wiring and all the piping and everything that goes on. So 50% done. Everything is on track so far.
Okay, great. Can you give us some insight into how long it takes to develop a project like this from inception to completion?
Sure. This has actually been on the plans for me 10 years.
Oh, wow.
If you remember the old Food for Less building, that property was the actual property that was designed for the hospital.
Okay.
And through lots of different things and businesses wanting to develop that part of the city, there was a land swap, a land trade. We were able to acquire a little bit more land than we currently had. And so this is 10 years it's been in the books. And it's just continued to progress forward until we had our groundbreaking last fall. And so now we're actually building and going well. And look to be finished in June.
Okay.
It is a construction time, so you never know what's going to happen.
Sure.
The construction will give us our occupancy, provided that we pass all the permits with the city and everything in the health department. Mm-hmm. And then we hope to see our first patient in September of next year.
Oh,
so
great.
Right about just a little over a year away from now, hoping to see our first patient in the hospital.
Great. What kind of services are going to be offered there?
Great question. We anticipate I'll just kind of speak of the campus in general. I want this place to be a place of education.
Okay.
If you have a question about healthcare, about depression, suicide, diabetes, all of the different things, maybe obesity, health training, health coaching, a place where you can come and take a class on campus and learn more about your healthcare. We want you to live the healthiest lives possible. Mm-hmm. That is the company's motto. That's where we live. We want you to be healthy. While being there, we anticipate delivering about 1,500 babies a year.
Oh, wow.
Doing surgery. We'll have an emergency room department. And our ER is someplace we hope no one ever has to go. But when you do have to go to emergency room, it's our goal to have from the time you walk in till the time you see a doctor, 20 minutes. To be able to see an emergency room, board certified, trauma certified ER physician. That's the type of surgeon or physician, ER physician you'll see there. Mm-hmm. We look at surgery, lots of same-day surgery, outpatient surgery where you're going to go home. Mm-hmm. It's funny, people ask, well, how big is the hospital going to be? Yeah. And I tell them 30 beds. Oh, it's going to be a small one. Healthcare is evolving. Hospitals are places where sick people go. We want you to come and have your procedure or deliver your baby and go home. We heal better. Everyone heals better in their own home environment. And so that's what we want this facility to be, a place you come when you need it and a place that you get the care you need quickly and you get back home and start to recover. So surgery, emergency room, birthing, having babies. One unique thing we'll have there is it will be a birthing center. Mm-hmm. And that it's attached to the hospital. More and more people want less invasive, more of a holistic approach to delivering a baby. So certified midwives will have a place where they can deliver their baby, less invasion, less intrusiveness, but If you need that extra care, if you need the emergency care that comes with a C-section or maybe a more difficult delivery, you'll have that attached to the hospital if you need it. But have a place that's more of a homey feel, a place that you can have a baby, and a place where you can actually know the price going forward. And so that will be unique as well.
Well, that'll be great.
Yeah.
So tell me a little about, I know in a presentation you gave earlier this year, you talked about how the Provo Hospital will kind of remain a hub for some of the heavy-duty surgeries.
Right.
And then you have these smaller community hospitals.
So this is a community hospital. It's meant to take care of 85% of the things that you need, whether it be an appendectomy, a gallbladder surgery, you might have ear, nose, and throat, or a total knee or a total hip replacement, or you're going to deliver a baby and have it with a C-section. Those healthy babies are going to be there. Utah Valley is a level 2 trauma center. It is meant to take care of brain surgery, heart surgery. If you're having a heart attack, we're going to send you right to Utah Valley, or you may bypass us directly and go strictly there.
Okay.
Those are the type cases that are meant to be there. If you're a sick patient who needs an ICU, we're going to send you to Utah Valley. That's what they are perfected on. Those places, Utah Valley and the physicians and the team there are meant to take care of you. If you, in the event you have a NICU and you have an early delivery, maybe a baby that's 3 months premature, in an emergency setting, we might deliver you at Spanish, but we're quickly going to transfer mom and baby to Utah Valley where those resources are there. It makes no sense in today's world to duplicate the cost and the training that it takes to have a center like that that's only 11 miles away to build it again in Spanish Fork. But 85%, I would say, I'm using that percentage, but 85, maybe 90%, all the things you need are going to be able to be taken care of right here in your own community, close to home. And let's get you back to home where you can recover and start doing the things that you want to do on a daily basis.
Yeah, that's awesome. How many employees do you think you'll be hiring for this hospital?
Great question. So I see us initially when we open, we'll have probably about 200 to 220 employees.
Okay.
At full build out, and when things are ramped up and we're fully been open, I would say within the first 2 years, we'll have close to 400 employees.
Oh, wow.
And that will be a mix between full-time, part-time, people who come in on our PRN status, which is, hey, we're running short today. Can you come in on short notice?
Okay.
But about 400 people. I mean, that'll be a great addition for employment for the community.
Yeah.
So we'll have some new employees that will come, but we also have caregivers that are at our other hospitals around the county who want to work closer to home.
Yeah.
I know for me, I'm currently the CEO of Orem Hospital. I live 4.5 miles from this hospital. And so jokingly, someone said, well, you're going to really run to work. I'm like, well, I'll drive faster. But if you've seen me, I don't know if I'll run. But I think it'll be a fun place. It'll be a great place for our community for people to call home in terms of working and then travel back to their homes close by.
Yeah, well, we welcome you to the community. You guys have already been active in the community with the Chamber of Commerce. You're a platinum member with us. You are one of our major sponsors with the Easter egg hunt that we have every year. Right. And also you've participated heavily in the Fiesta Days on the 12th, the wonderful fireworks show, and the street dance on the 19th. So we really thank you guys for that.
There have been lots of people. You talk about Fiesta Days. I think everyone's kind of hung over this weekend. There's lots of partying that was going on between all the different things that were going on. And so being a sponsor, being able to just help fill in and fill a niche or to blend in and be part of the community is what we want. Lots of good members of the chamber that are active in that. And we just want to partner with them where we can and serve and be a good corporate sponsor. Yeah. Not just the Spanish Fork, but we have surrounding communities. In Spanish Fork, we have Payson, Salem, Mapleton, Springville, lots of different cities, Elk Ridge, Woodland Hills. All of these communities will be places that we will serve. So looking forward to serving and being a good community partner where we can.
Hey, thank you and welcome to the community.
Thanks. Look forward to it.
Coming up next on Chamber Today, we'll talk with the director of the Spanish Fork City Community and Economic Development Office. Stay with us. Welcome back to Chamber Today. Our next guest is Dave Anderson, the director of the Spanish Fork City Community and Economic Development Department. Thanks for joining us today, Dave.
Aaron, thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you back. So, lots been happening this summer. Tell us a bit about the new businesses. That's what everybody wants to know.
It's been a busy summer. We couldn't be more excited than we are to have Lowe's well under construction. I assume many of our residents have seen the walls go up in recent months. We're very excited to have them as far along as they are. Super excited to have them on track to open before Black Friday.
This year?
Oh,
wow.
That's going to be a great addition to the community with Walmart and Costco also in that part of the city. having a third big anchor retailer like that, particularly one that really doesn't have a complement already in the community, being home improvement types of goods and that sort of thing there. I think it'll really round out the retail base that we have and hopefully attract some other retailers to the community as well.
That'd be great.
Chili's is another one that's kind of exciting. It's good to see another nationally based sit-down table service restaurant along with Olive Garden in Canyon Creek. Likewise, kind of like with Lowe's, where we hope it will attract some other retailers to the community. We hope Chili's has that same effect.
When are they going to open? Do we know?
Hopefully also by Black Friday, October or November this fall.
Okay. Any other restaurants?
So those are the two really the big retailers I would say that we know will open this year.
I know there have been rumors of In-N-Out. Can you discuss that yet?
There have been a lot of rumors.
Yeah.
And, what I absolutely feel very comfortable saying is that In-N-Out's taken a very, very hard look at 2 sites in Spanish Fork. They continue to look in Spanish Fork, but those two, for different reasons, both have not worked out.
Oh, that's too bad.
In-N-Out does seem to be very genuinely interested in having a store in the community.
Yeah.
And we continue to work with them in hopes of making that happen sooner than later. But right now we don't have anything set in stone to where we can talk about it.
Yeah. Well, we still got the Five Guys. So that's good too.
Right. Yeah.
And Mod Pizza just opened?
Did they open?
Yeah,
I didn't realize
open.
that. I knew they were on track too soon. So it's
Yeah.
great to have a spot that had been dark for a little while filled. It seems like a great fit for them to take that location. Mod Pizza is a great addition to the community.
Yeah. So tell us about transportation. Switching
Transportation, So maybe kind of speaking of retail development.
Yeah.
Canyon Creek Parkway, US Highway 6, some of the streets in that immediate area. I think there's a good chance that some of residents might have noticed traffic increasing in that area, with the opening of things like Walmart and the theater and just everything that's happened in and around that US 6 corridor from 8th East over to 10th North and so forth. And frankly, we know that traffic in that area is going to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
At least congestion will. And that's going to create some challenges. At the same time, we're excited to see more traffic get in and out of the heart of the community's growing retail district. But the solution, we think, for that is to have a new interchange constructed on I-15. And in recent years, there's been a lot of effort put into making that happen. For us, it's at 2700 North, which is currently just a bridge over I-15.
That's the one by the Ford dealer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And I guess to describe the project as easily as I can, that bridge will be turned into an interchange, a full interchange with movements coming from all directions. And the hope is that will alleviate a certain part of the traffic that's working its way to the new Intermountain Healthcare facility that's under construction now, and just the different retail development, or different retail stores, with all of the retail developments happening in Canyon Creek, along with manufacturers and different other types of businesses that operate in that area, to where it takes some of the pressure off of that US Highway 6 corridor, the intersection right in front of the Chevron station, for example, and Burger King.
But that was just widened not too long ago.
Just widened, and we've, I think, done just about everything that can be done to make that accommodate as much traffic as possible. At some point, you really start to hit a diminishing return as you add travel lanes and different things like that. So really, it's a matter now of trying to find alternate ways to get people to and from the area. In my career, I haven't seen a project go from being maybe planned for a 10-year kind of construction schedule to being planned for something more like maybe a 3 or a 4-year construction schedule, like a new interchange at 2700 North has happened, and that really is how it sits today.
Do we have a timeline on that?
Well, the hope being that it's operational in 2023.
Oh, wow. That's fast.
So that is fast. 4 years, it doesn't necessarily seem quick, but relative to Department of Transportation terms and just how long it takes to go through a planning, design, and construction process for that type of a facility, it's very, very quick. Even with that, probably we'll have a hospital open for some 3 years.
Yeah.
Before it's open, we'll see a lot more growth. So like I mentioned, unfortunately, from the perspective of of us as patrons for the area and motorists that don't necessarily like to sit through lights, but really hate to sit through lights for a couple of cycles and those types of things. We'll probably be dealing with a little bit of that until that interchange gets open and some other improvements get made in the area as well. But it's great to see that planned, to have a timetable in mind, to have the state legislature and UDOT both committed to make that happen. And that's the result of a lot of effort, including the effort of our mayor, our city council, and city staff.
That's great. I can't wait till that opens up. That'd be wonderful.
The interchange will do some other things as well for the community. We are very, very fortunate in Spanish Fork, I believe, to not just be a bedroom community. There is a lot going on in Spanish Fork. There are thousands and thousands of jobs in the community. And one thing that we've noticed really since the recession is that companies, while maybe they haven't necessarily expanded their buildings and added square footage or that type of a thing, everybody seems to be operating very close to full capacity. Maybe companies have just added shifts or different things like that to increase their employee count. But there, like I've said, obviously there are a lot of jobs in the community. There are a lot of households in Spanish Fork that rely on those jobs. We have some great jobs in the city, and along those lines, it's become a real challenge for some of our employers to find employees that they need, that are an essential part of them being able to continue to grow in the community. Some jobs require a certain skill set, others don't. I really appreciate the fact that the Chamber of Commerce is offered to serve as kind of maybe a type of clearinghouse or something like that, where people that are maybe interested in finding a job locally in Spanish Fork can go to the chamber to get more information, about whatever the company might be that is currently hiring, which incidentally is quite a few companies today in Spanish Fork. And it's great to be able to talk about jobs that truly they're living wage jobs. We're not talking about minimum wage. You're not necessarily talking about a second job or anything like that at all, but the type of job that can provide for a household and help people maybe live and work in the same community. And if I might as well maybe just mention a few by name.
Sure, that'd be great.
Not only do they do wonders, I think, in terms of helping improve the quality of life in the city just because they employ people, but also they're great corporate citizens. Some of them started small in Spanish Fork, and they've grown locally, some tremendously. Mountain Country Food certainly comes to mind. We've seen them expand time and time again over the years. They've very robustly increased their employment in Spanish Fork. They do a great job for their employees in terms of the benefits that they provide and different things like that. Nature's Sunshine, another company that started in Spanish Fork, has grown tremendously here and gone on to build other facilities in other communities. We also are very fortunate, I believe, to have companies in town that rely on very, very specified and a certain type of skill set that requires training, and that leads to the production of things that are really incredible. Companies like Hydro, where they build all different
formerly
sorts of things. Formerly Sapa, before that it was Alcoa. But a company that has recognized Spanish Fork as being a great place to find employees that are well-skilled, they're talented, they're willing to work hard, and because of that, it's a company that continues to invest locally in Spanish Fork.
That's great.
And I could go on and on and on about others, and we'll just maybe end with the idea that Spanish Fork is what it is because, at least in part, of the jobs that we have in the community. Again, it's not just a bedroom community. The employers that we have, and a lot of, I guess, the ones that I'd look to, they're manufacturers, which means that they have really heavy equipment in the community. They pay property taxes. Beyond that, they're good corporate citizens. They participate in community events. They buy power in such a way that, honestly, it helps keep everybody's power rates in Spanish Fork lower, just given the nature of how they purchase power when they do it and the volume of power that they buy. So
Well, Spanish Fork's really becoming a very well-rounded city. Like you mentioned, we've got the industrial base, we've got a growing retail base, and as we see, we have a growing residential base as well. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of reasons to leave Spanish Fork. I mean, at least for me. I mean, I go to Orem for Lowe's. Now I can do it here.
With healthcare here, right?
Yeah, on healthcare, the hospital.
Healthcare,
yeah.
I think that absolutely. Yeah. I'd say that's maybe the final piece that we needed to round things out.
Seriously, yeah.
It's been great to see those changes happen over the years. I think it's going to continue to evolve that way.
Yeah, great. Well, I like having you on the show, Dave, as always, and we look forward to talking to you again soon, hopefully. And again, thank you for being here. And next, we're going to focus on a new level of the Chamber membership. That's coming right up on Chamber Today. Welcome back to Chamber Today. We have something new and exciting to talk about. We have a new membership level with our Chamber of Commerce. It's for young entrepreneurs. If you're a high school student or a junior high school student who has a business or a product that you're selling, you have an opportunity to join our chamber at a reduced rate and meet and work with other members of the business community here in Spanish Fork. And to tell us about some of the personal experiences with this new chamber program, we want to welcome Justin and Eric Jacobson with Knock'em Games to the program. Thanks for coming on the program today, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Great. So Justin, tell us a bit about your product and what you've designed here.
Okay, so like how the game works?
Yeah, sure.
So you can see there's the towers here, and so there's 4 of each color, and then the black tower in the middle. And so there will be a matching ball with each of the 4 towers. And so how it works is you'll take turns throwing your ball at each other's towers.
Oh, cool.
And so wherever your ball lands is where you throw from on your next turn. So you just like take turns, and so it's constantly moving where you're throwing from and where your towers are.
Okay, so you play this in your yard?
Yeah.
How much space does it need?
How much space do you think it needs?
It's usually about a 30-foot diameter.
Oh, that's
you can
great.
shrink it down if you have younger kids or have a smaller space. Or
Okay.
We've played it at the beach.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun too. So.
Great. So it's 2 to 4 players?
Yeah, this one. There's actually 2 versions of it.
What are the 2 different versions?
There's this one, which is a more slow and strategic version, and then there's another one called Knock'em Blitz.
Okay.
And it's a faster pace, so it's a similar concept of trying to knock down your opponent's towers. So you'll be standing across from your partner, and you'll be throwing the balls as fast as you can, trying to knock down the other team's towers, because they'll be in like a line, alternating.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can play with either 2 players or up to 8 players.
Oh, wow,
So that's
8
something
players.
unique about the game is there's not many games that you can play with 8 people at the same time. So a lot of fun for a party or something like that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit about how you designed this game.
So, like, about 3 years ago, I was in my room, and I had some dice, and I made little towers out of them, and would flick other dice at them. So, and I kind of just turned it into a little game that I just kind of came up with the dice towers. And then I told my dad and my mom about it, and then we kind of thought about making it a tabletop game with like little towers and so it was like that, and then it kind of like died down, and then a year later, my dad came up with the idea that we could maybe make this as a yard game. So then we like made our first like prototype. It was out of wood and a softball, and it was like the same gameplay as it is now, and that's how it was with the towers. And then we just slowly went through different prototypes until we got to this.
Okay. What are some of the things you've learned by designing and building your own game?
That you got to try to find like the perfect product. It's kind of hard because like we thought, wood will be perfect, because there's a similar kind of yard game, Cube, if you've heard of it. And it was made out of wood, so we thought maybe we could do something like that, kind of out of wood towers, but it was like way too heavy, so we couldn't do that. It was very bulky and heavy, so we moved on and thought of like making it plastic, and like tried 3D printing things and different prototypes with that. And then we kind of thought of like Russian nesting dolls, how they like go inside of each other. But we figured out with manufacturing, different sizes of things can cost a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
So then we actually came to the idea of cones, because they can like stack inside each other. And then we would find things, but they were like flimsy and not as durable. And then eventually we came to this and talked to manufacturers in China and got these.
Okay, great. You know, one of the nice things about being an entrepreneur is you get to be involved in all different aspects of the business, from the design, the manufacturing, the marketing. What do you think is your favorite part of being an entrepreneur?
I kind of like the fulfillment. Like, that's the part I like pretty much run myself. So like we have like all the boxes of product in our basement, and I just like pull all the different pieces of the game and put them together and like put them in the bags and boxes, put shipping labels and stuff, and to ship them out.
Oh, that's great. And so your website's knockemgames.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you only just buy on the website, or is there other outlets you can buy from?
Right now, that's the only one.
Okay.
Yeah, just on the website right now.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. That's exciting. Other things you want to tell us about the game?
Yeah, it's just, I mean, there's so many things today
Yeah.
that isolate us, like our phones, our devices, right? And one of the things that's awesome about what Justin created is just that it gets people outside, gets people connected with friends and family. You know, it's fun watching his little brother and his friends just out playing and having fun, right? Instead of being stuck on a screen, you know, being outside and connected. And the other thing I'd say is, you know, he won't say it, but everything is his idea. Like the entire gameplay, how it works. I'm involved a lot in running the business, but it really is him that's made this possible.
That's great.
And I run everything by him, and he's not afraid to tell me when I have a bad idea. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Great. So show us how these knock down.
Like throw the balls at them.
Sure, why not?
So like you have the different towers. So there's just on grass. It works a little better, knocking them down. It would work on it. So you just like throw it and it'll knock over.
How far away are you from it when you're throwing it?
Well, it depends because you're throwing from wherever your ball lands, so you can get closer to other people's towers.
Okay.
Yeah, sometimes it may be a few feet, sometimes it may be 30 feet away. So it requires a lot of accuracy if you get further away, or if you're closer, then it's a little easier. But
Oh, that's great. Cool. Well, hey, guys, I really want to thank you guys for coming on the show today. It's great to highlight a young entrepreneur here in our community. And as always, Spanish Fork just churns out these business owners. It's really neat. It's really fun to watch. We wish you success moving forward. And we hope to see other games coming out of Knock 'em Games. That'd be awesome. Great. Coming up, we'll look at the calendar of activities this month. More Chamber Today after this short message. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the upcoming events for the Chamber of Commerce. The Farmers Market is in full swing. Every Saturday morning from 8 to 1 p.m. at City Hall. You can choose the best of local produce along with other treats. That runs through October 26th. August 6th is the Business of the Month recognition. Chick-fil-A at 10 a.m. August 8th is ribbon cutting for the Corey Chapman Agency, noon in Mapleton. August 21st, our new networking lunch will be at the Oaks Event Center. Representative John Curtis will be speaking. First-time visitors can attend free. For more information about these events, please visit our website, www.SpanishForkChamber.com. Thank you to our guests, Francis Gibson from Intermountain Healthcare, Dave Anderson from Spanish Fork City, and Justin and Eric Jacobson from Knock 'em Games, as well as the Chamber of Commerce, Spanish Fork City, and Spanish Fork 17 for the support. We look forward to being with you again with a new edition of Chamber Today next month. Thank you for watching and supporting our local businesses.